You are now entering the Thick Goddess Energy Morning Show. We in the building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuted my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Found out I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. Good morning. Good morning. This is the Thick Goddess Energy Show. I'm your host, Ariana, aka Divine Moon Goddess, and we're going to be talking about happiness. I think I'm going to start like playing um, an intro in the morning. I got to learn how to work this thing. If I can learn how to work this thing, then I'll learn how to do an intro. So let me let the notifications start to go out. Good morning, Katrina. Um, and we're gonna get into it. So this morning, is happiness real? That's what we're gonna talk about this morning. Is happiness real? I think we get very stuck on what happiness should be and what happiness is, and I think we kind of overwhelm ourselves with the word happiness. And a lot of people who kind of come into our lives who make us feel like we're not doing something right. Right. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Pamela. So we're going to talk about it this morning. I think not that happiness is a facade, um, but I feel like the happiness that people are telling us that we need to get to is unrealistic. Very unrealistic. So let's start, right? So thank you, Boo. Thank you. Okay, so when one of the biggest things that would irritate me, right, in this spiritual path is I would come around these like super happy people. Um and these super happy people would just be like, it's just so easy, just be happy all day long. And I would just look like, that's not fucking realistic. It's not realistic to just be happy all day long, because happiness is a state of being. Joy is a state of being. There's going to be times when your state of being is crushed, anger, or angry, should I say, depressed, sad. There's going to be moments of this because this is an experience. The experience is not 24/7 bliss, right? She says, show me the money, Aquarius. So it's not going to be 24/7 bliss. That is a facade. There's a lot of people out here selling the facade that you can get to this happy state all day, every day. And it's not that. What makes your days better is, of course, how you handle situations. But in actuality, life is never going to be 24/7 happiness. That's unrealistic, because life has its ups and downs, and life has its trials and tribulations, right? And we have our experiences that we need to go through, whether it's death, whether it is loss of any kind, whether it is some people do go through some very traumatic shit, right? So the key thing is like, okay, happiness. I'm trying to get, I want to be happy, right? So what does that mean? I want to be happy. I just want to be happy in this life. You got to ask yourself, one, why do you think you're not happy? Okay. Why do you think you're not happy in your life? I remember I used to say this, I just want to be happy. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to feel sadness. I don't want to be in depression. I don't want to be in those modes. And last episode, we kind of talked about depression and how that makes you feel, right? So one of my biggest things is working to become happy, want to stay happy, right? And that's not realistic. It just isn't. we have to understand that life is just going to be moments of happiness. There's going to be moments of joy. There's going to be moments of bliss. There's going to be moments of laughter, but it's not going to be all day, 24/7, 365 days a year. It's just not going to be. And I think we set ourselves up for failure trying to achieve this ultimate happiness, this ultimate bliss in our lives, this ultimate place, right? And so I think you got to kind of come back and kind of ask yourself, okay, so where am I, right, in my life? Can I create smaller happiness? How am I reacting to what's going on around me? Because a lot of people, the cause of your unhappiness is how you react to the situations around you, how you react to the shit that happens, how you react to your tire going flat. Are you fucking losing your shit? Are you cussing everybody out? Or are you just like, all right, I got a flat tire. Let me handle this. The way that we handle everything is going to make or break our mindset or our state of being, because the happiness ties into your state of being. And I can't remember the lady that I saw yesterday when she was talking about that, because somebody had asked her, are you happy? And she was just like, no one is truly happy all the time. And this is what I've been saying this for a very long time. But what creates this longer state, right, is how you deal with shit. How do you deal with the stressors of life? How do you deal with the stuff that creates sadness? Or I don't want to say create sadness. I would just say some things that are sad. How do you deal with death? Death is one of the biggest ones. I always bring that up because that's one of the biggest ones that people struggle with, right? Is dealing with death, accepting death and kind of regrouping and restructuring your life, because you kind of have to go to a new reality after death, not your death, but someone else's death, right? Um, so those are like some of the biggest things that kind of hinder us. But on your day to day, okay, somebody cut you off in the morning. Are you pissed off? Some of you are pissed off. Do you have road rage after that? Or are you like, okay, good morning. Good morning. We're just gonna kind of let that go. I think that, we cause so much more suffering in our lives than we need to. So happiness is real, but the happiness state is not real 24/7. There will be things that piss us off. There will be things that get on our nerves. There will be things that drive us to insanity sometimes. But I do think at the end of the day, are we allowing it to keep us in the state? The biggest thing is, it's not that anger is bad. Sometimes you need to be angry. But are you staying in that anger state for too long? That's the key. Are you staying in a state of sadness too long? That's the key, because you're not going to be able to create this utopia, not right now in this world. This world comes with a lot of chaos around it. There's a lot of fear out there. And we can't control what other people do. We just can't, right? Good morning, Jesse. We can't control what other people do. The only thing we can control is ourselves. The only thing we have control is how you react, really, because there's some shit you don't have control in your own lives, right? But you can control how you react to every situation. So, are you letting things take you to a point of, going off? Are you letting things kind of like give you the experience in the moment? How are you reacting to the everyday shit in your lives? And I want you guys to think about this. How are you reacting to the everyday things in your life? Are you letting things overpower? Are you letting things take you to these very horrible states? Well, I don't want to say horrible states. Good morning, Joanne. Are you letting simple things like the girl at we'll just say the girl at the drive-through who apparently fucking hates her life, right? Are you letting her shift your happiness? Are you allowing her energy to transmute into you? And then you take that on, and now your fucking day is all horrible. Or are you just going to smile at that person and try to give that person some type of uplift, some encouragement? Maybe that person needs it. So I feel like at the end of the day, we all have these choices. We have a choice to be a part of the madness, or we can create the happiness. And so if you get into those modes of, let me be, or at least attempt to be, the one that shifts to positive, then we're creating waves. And I think it's the little moments that create happiness. It's the little moments that shift. It's the little moments that take us to this utopia that we want to be in. But we have to be the one that started. I think a lot of times, a lot of people are waiting for someone else to create this around us, right? We're waiting for other people to join in on this bliss. We're waiting for other people to create this for us, and we have to be what we want to see in the world. That's hands down one of the things I live by, is you have to be what you want to see in the world. It has to start with you, right? Because we can sit here and we can talk all day and we can bitch and complain all day. But if we're not showing up, if we're not being the leaders in this change, then nothing is going to ever change. So when we're talking about happiness, don't say, my life's going to be better when I get happy, or when I become happy, or when I get over here, or when I obtain this, or when I get that degree. I'll be good. When I buy that house, I'll be good. When I have kids, I'll be good. Or when my kids fucking leave, I'll be good. I'll be happy. You're putting this like kind of time limit and this unrealistic barrier on your happiness. It's an unrealistic barrier that you're putting on your happiness, because it's like, I'll be happy when some other shit happens. And you got to remember, why aren't you happy now? And if you're not happy, you need to look at that. Good morning, Evelyn. Thank you, boo. Like I said, we set ourselves up for failure. We set ourselves up for this sadness. Thank you, Annette. We set ourselves up for this constant, unfulfilled, like, existence, right? Because we're always going to be happy when we get somewhere. I'll be happy when I'm over there, but I'm not there yet, so I can't be happy. Change that. Change that outlook. Don't wait, because everything that you can do in your day can create happiness for you. Now, again, happiness is spurts of happiness. It's not all day long that you're just, yeah, la, 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 la. Like, that's not realistic. Like, for the most part, I'm a happy person, but there are times where things irritate me. There are times it's just like, did we really have to go there today, people? There's times where you go out there and you get served with less than less than what you want to get served with, right? So again, if you're out there and you're just like, okay, so this is one of those days, I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm not going to let it keep me in this state of anger. I'm not going to let it keep me in this state of irritation, right? Because what does irritation do? It just creates more negative energy to come towards you. That's why when one thing happens and someone gets all pissed off about that one thing, then the whole day is gone, right? The whole day is fucked up. It's like everything after that, it just makes it worse. But that's because we allow it to. We allow it to make it worse. We allow it to um, get to these points where we're just losing our shit. And it's always some of the littlest stuff. If you notice, it's always some of the littlest stuff that we're losing our shit on. And it's like, why? Why are we losing our shit on this little stuff that's insignificant? That in the moment we can change it. Good morning, Melissa. So, how many of you guys are saying, I'll be happy when? I used to say that. I was someone who had this plan. I was going to be happy when something else happened, whether it was a degree, whether it was a promotion, whether it was marriage, whatever, it was like, I'll be happy when I get there. And I didn't realize that I was telling the universe that I didn't want to be happy until I got there, right? That's what the intentions that we're setting. We're setting the intentions of our happiness is tied to whatever that moment is, and we're not going to be happy until then. So the people, I will tell you, there's a lot of phony people out here that are selling the dream of happiness all day long, all day, constantly, and that's not realistic. Happiness is very real, and it is a state of being. But in this society, it's kind of hard to stay in that happiness all day, every day. If you got troubled children, if you have troubles in your partnership, if you just are in fear of what's going on out there in society, it's very hard to stay in this place of happiness because you got a lot of other energy working against you, right? The trick is to just in the moment ask yourself, in this moment, do these feelings I have, do I need to stay here? Is it better to stay here in whatever I'm feeling? Is it worth the energy to stay in this negativity? And so you got to start asking yourself these questions. You got to start asking yourself, is it worth the irritation? Like Susie at work, who fucking annoys you every day. Is it worth to engage? Some of you may say yes, right? But it's not. At the end of the day, it's not. All it does is create more negative energy for you. Um, I like to annoy people with kindness. I like to annoy people. What is it, like kill people with kindness? Not really kill them, but I like to annoy people with kindness. I think the biggest irritation to people is when they're in the bad mood and you're smiling and fucking happy. Like that is one of the biggest things to irritate negative people is just being happy, is just smiling. It's just because fucking miserable people hate that shit. I was a there was a time when I was miserable as fuck. I look back at these moments and I'm like, wow, I was really miserable in my life. And I couldn't stand happy people. I could not stand happy people. It's just like, how the fuck, how are you so cheery? You know, and I didn't realize that it was in my own self that I was like dying, right? Good morning, Sasha. Yes, kill him with kindness. It irritates people. It fucking irritates the hell out of people when you're happy. But be happy. Choose happiness. Happiness is a choice. You know, everybody wants happiness to be this I don't know where it's like you're just happy, but you have to choose to be happy. It's a choice. You choose to be happy, or you could choose to be sad. You could choose to be a fucking bitch today, right? You could choose to be you could choose to be irritating as fuck, right? Good, Melissa. You know, when one of the things that I do when I wake up, you know, and I'll be very honest with you guys. There's, you know, this past I think year, I've been a single woman for a very long time, and this past year, it's really hit me that I'm single, that I wake up by myself, and there's days where it's like, okay, I wake up by myself, and I can see this two ways. I could see this as like, oh, I'm lonely, I'm alone, or I could see this as at least I don't have fucking drama laying next to me, right? Um, and so what I do is I wake up and I take those few moments before I get up, before I'm looking at my phone, before I'm looking at missed calls or whatever. Good morning, JR. And I'm actually, you know, taking that moment to just be thankful, be grateful for all the blessings that I have. It is very hard to get caught in what we don't have, what we're missing, what we're lacking in our lives. It's very easy to get stuck in the poor me. I don't have this. I'm not happy. And so in the morning before I get out of bed, I just take those few moments to really say thank you to the universe. Thank you to my team. Thank you for my blessings. I'm a big girl, you guys. I rub my belly. I say thank you for all the things that my body does for me. Um I think you have to retrain. And I think that's one of the biggest things is retrain your brain or recalibrating the brain, right? To understand that your you set the tone for your day. Nobody else. I don't give a shit what they do. I don't give a shit how they piss you off. I don't give a shit what they say. I don't give a shit if you woke up and you didn't get none, okay? You you're going to set the tone for your day. Right. You got to wake up and take those moments. And like I said, we talked about this I think on a couple shows where, I used to be a person who hit snooze until the last fucking minute. So I never took those moments to just be grateful, to be thankful. I was rushing and I would just be so irritable and so irritated with a lot of shit because I just didn't take that moment to say thank you, right? To just give that appreciation to the universe, to give that appreciation to my team, who is constantly looking out for me. I think we have to retrain ourselves to take those moments. Not saying every morning you got fucking energy to get up and start doing yoga and fucking meditating and shit before work. Okay, I get it. I work here at home and I still struggle to get my ass up and fucking do yoga and shit. I want to be one of those people, and maybe one day I will, maybe one day I won't, to get up and start doing fucking yoga early in the morning and shit with the sunrise. Right now it's too cold. And even though I live in Florida, it's been like 50 degrees in the morning. I'm not going outside to go do fucking yoga. It's not happening. I don't even want to get out of my damn covers. That's why I'm not live every morning because it's super fucking cold. So you got to remember that just happiness is a state of being. It is not something that you're going to be all the time. So be okay with that. Be okay that there will be moments that you're pissed. There's reasons to be pissed. If you look around, there's reasons to fucking get angry. Don't stay there though. Envy, jealousy are all primal emotions. They're all shit that we feel at some point. The trick is don't stay there. It is very easy to see someone with something that you desire and feel a certain way about it. That doesn't make you a horrible person. That makes you a fucking human, okay? Just don't stay there, and don't feel bad like, oh fuck, why am I thinking this? Just cuz you're human, okay? Um it's in the moments that you have a choice. You could react in a very shitty way, and I say the little things like when someone fucks up your order because those are the things we're going through all day. And in those moments we could choose to be an asshole, or we could say how dumb they are and this, that, and the third, or we could choose to just acknowledge that this person made a mistake, forgive them for it. I think a lot of times we get caught in the moment and we're so easy to like lash out on someone. But remember, you're not lashing out on that person because they fucked up your order or they didn't get your coffee right. You're lashing out on that person because you feel like shit. Remember that. It's all your projection out on someone else is who you are, not what they did to you. So, if you want to create true happiness in your life, then you have to come to a place of understanding that and not reacting in the moment and saying some hurtful shit in the moment because you're pissed, because you're mad. That's not going to create happiness or sustain happiness. All it does is create more negative energy. So, take your times. Let's say you can't get it in the morning. Nope, Divine, I can't. I press snooze and then I'm late, and every fucking morning I go through the same shit. All right. So as soon as you get to work, you're clocking in. Take that minute to just say those thank yous. Take those moments. Some of you got the kids in the morning, irritated as fuck because they're not putting their shoes on and they're not brushing their teeth. And so now because they're children, they're going to fucking do it. And we get mad and we're pissed and we're like, how many times I got to tell you to do the same thing? They're children. They're going to fucking not do it, right? Not to say not to discipline your children, but sometimes we're getting overly angry on some shit because we want our expectation, right? That these children should do what they're supposed to do. And then And then we're pissed off about it because now we have to remind them. Now we have to take time. And so just bring it back. Remember, you chose to be a parent. And some of you are like, no, I didn't. Yeah, you did. The second you laid down, you did. You chose you chose to be a parent. So it's just understanding that we can create happiness in moments where we don't see it. Be what you want to see in the world. And so if you want to see happiness around you, you have to start choosing that as a way, instead of the anger, instead of the irritation, instead of the, going off on someone or proving, or you have to say what you need to say. Um, Sometimes saying nothing is golden. Sometimes silence is so much better than words. Okay. Um, Remember, if you need to get your point across, if you need to prove what you're saying, that's all your ego. It's not your higher self. Your higher self doesn't need to prove shit. Your higher self, it just is. You know the truth, and that's all that matters. Um, your ego is what drives you to force and make that point. So when we go back to, can I create happiness in my life? You can create happiness in your life every day. You can create moments of happiness. You can stop and take a look at the sunrise. You can stop. Even in the car, you guys ever notice you're in the car, you're going to work, and you're just zoned the fuck out? You're not paying attention. You're just there. Some of you don't even realize how the fuck you got to work. You just did. In those moments, you can stop. Look around. Look at the people that are sitting next to you. Some of you are like, hell no, I'm not looking. Hell no, I'm not looking at these people. Just take a moment. Look, smile at the person sitting in the fucking light next to you. Might be a little weird at first. Might be a little weird. You'd be like, what's wrong with this person? Some of you are in the same lane with the same people and you guys never see each other. You never see these same people that commute on the same road with you every day because you're not there. You're not in your experience. You're somewhere else. You're allowing your mind to take you to other places instead of being present in the moment. And this is what we mean about being present, creating in this moment that I'm here, that I'm seeing, that I'm feeling, that I'm not just allowing myself to be out in space in my illusions and fantasy. Okay. So every day you have these moments to create this happiness. Just don't make yourself feel like shit when the happiness is not there. Okay? Cuz like I said, it's a state of being. You can get there, but you're not going to be happy every second of the day. It's unrealistic. And that's an unrealistic goal. And that's setting yourself up for failure in so many ways. Cuz life again has ups and downs. There will be the irritating client that will piss you off. There will be the irritating patient that will fucking piss you off. There will be the irritating boss that pisses you off, right? The irritating coworker. There will be your children that do shit to piss you off. Your spouse will do something to piss you off, or you will piss your spouse off, okay? There will always be these moments that push us, right? Um, but you just don't have to stay there. Choose not to stay in those moments. Choose not to stay in the expectation of what you think the moment should be, right? That's probably one of the biggest things. Taking your expectation out of everything limits the disappointment in every situation because we expect a lot from people. We expect shit to be a certain way. We expect people to act a certain way, right? We put our stipulations on everything. And then we're so disappointed and sad when it doesn't go to the way that we want it to. That's not life. That's not reality. It's not how it is. Okay. You will constantly be in a state of sadness and depression if you don't realize that. And I hope I'm making sense. I hope you guys are getting what I'm putting out, right? Because what I have found is that I was able to create my own peace this past year by lessening the expectation I had on others, lessening the expectation that I had on anyone, anything. It didn't matter what it was. just taking away my expectation. And in moments where I could be pissed off and mad, just choose to smile, instead of being, because I used to be the person in the drive through, like, you, what the fuck you mean my order's fucked up? you know, there was just like no need for it, no need to go over and above and make someone feel smaller than what they are. That comes from other unhealed shit inside of us, right? And so you just start to realize that you can create this happiness by choosing something else, choosing to show that love and compassion and understanding and forgiveness, you know, through everything. Good morning, Shondell. If you can't find that, that's kind of the problem. You got to ask yourself, if I can't find this, if I can't change this moment right now, why am I overly pissed off right now? Because there's some situations that just don't call for it. Good morning, Tiffany. Don't believe the hype. You keep popping off and writing, texting what you saying to my brother whose bitter failed relationship ended horribly. That's why I'm popping in and off. Got you. Send him my live. Tell him watch it. um, you know, um, relationships end. We were all sold this fantasy that relationships are supposed to last forever. That's one of the things, that's one of the reasons why we create unhappiness. Our expectation of what relationships are supposed to be. And we can't understand how someone could not love us anymore. Like we're just so perfect. And we're fucking not. Not one of us are perfect people. Some people are not meant to be in our lives forever. It's very hard for anyone to understand that. This is why people are so depressed after a relationship. It's because we're like, how could this person not love me? How could this person not want me? I'm the fucking shit. What's wrong with them? Right? But that's not realistic. It's not realistic. No one is obligated or guaranteed to love you forever. And love is never anything that you should, love is freeing. Love is not restrictive. And so a lot of us don't understand what love is. And I will tell you that if you, at the end of a relationship, no longer love somebody, that was never love to begin with. It was never love to begin with, because love never dies, love never ends. The only thing that happens in some relationships is people understand that they're just too different to make it work. But if you ever get to the end of a relationship where you're like, I no longer love this person, you never love this person to begin with. Okay. And I know there's a difference between in love and love, right? Because in love is the more like butterflies in your stomach, and everything's beautiful. And that's like the infatuation phase. Because love truly never dies. When you love someone, never goes away. Um, so most people are very infatuated with someone and they call it love because they don't really know. Most of us don't know what fucking love is. We don't know what the creator's energy of love is. Most of us have never felt that shit. So what we attribute to being love is not love. It's not, it's a facade, right? And so when some people truly see that, it's like, oh shit, I really didn't love this person. I like them a lot. Yeah, I do believe love is giving. Like, even though we have put this level of expectation on love. Like, oh no, this person has to give you what you give them. To a certain extent I understand. But I want you guys to know, when you love someone, you just do it out of love. You're not doing it because, oh, I love you and I made you dinner, so now it's you got to make me dinner. Or I love you and I bought you this, so now you got to buy me this. Love doesn't come with a tit for tat. Love comes out of, you love this person, so you do things out of that love. But there can't be expectation with love, because that's not love. If you're expecting somebody to do something because you love them, then you've missed the whole fucking point of love. Most people want a transaction, a business transaction. Most people are looking for a partnership in that respect. They're not looking for love, because love you do because you love that person. But society, our friends, they will tell us, like, no, that person doesn't love you because they don't do this. And so a lot of people in society fill our heads up with what love is supposed to be. Well, love doesn't come with all those stipulations. Love doesn't come with all those expectations. You love someone, you love them regardless to what they're doing for you. Love doesn't come with a check. Love doesn't come with gifts. Love doesn't come with what you think this person should be doing for you. This is something that we have to remove from the idea of love, because that's not love, right? That's expectation. That's thinking that, oh, if I love you enough, you'll love me back. That's not really love. You got to realize that. So one of the biggest things I do in coaching, especially with partnerships, is the whys. Know your whys. Why are you doing things? Why are you doing this with your partner? If you're expecting a ring, that's already you're expecting something. Well, I've been with this person 5 years and they haven't married me. Again, you've put an expectation and a limit on your partnership. That's not love. That's you pushing the dream that you've had since you were a kid, the fairy tale wedding, and and it's not about the person, it's about you. And that's one of the biggest conversations I have with most of my clients. Know your whys behind what you're doing. If you're doing shit, and let me tell you, you may tell everybody else, no, I do it out of love. But your creator, whether it be God, Allah, Buddha, whoever, knows your intention. And if your intention is truly doing shit because you want something from this person, you have to answer for that. Good morning, Susanna. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to spirit. So the biggest question I always ask everyone in a love reading is like, what's your whys? What are your whys? You got to know your whys. You got a scammer? I don't see them just yet. So if it pops up, then I'll get them. Why am I doing this for this person? And again, with love, you just do it because you love them. I even have to say this to parents, because parents get very caught in the, oh my God, I do all of this for my kids and they don't appreciate shit and they don't. And again, same thing with parents. You do it out of love. You're not doing it to receive anything back. So if they never tell you thank you, you're expecting the gratitude. You're expecting them to be appreciative. And when you feel like shit, that's because you feel like shit, not because they're making you feel like shit. That's you, because you do it because you want the gratitude, not that you just do it. There are some parents that just do it and there's nothing attached to it. They're not looking for the kudos. They're not looking for that, oh, you're the best mom ever, or you're the best dad ever, right? That's our ego. That's all our ego wanting the kind of the ego boost, right? We want that. All right, I'm the shit. But that's all our ego. It's not love. Remember, love doesn't come with anything. Love is just love. Can't explain it. Love is unexplainable. You can't explain love. It just is. But we get caught up in what society deems love is, and we get caught up in what society has said love and relationships are. And the second it doesn't look, smell, or model what society thinks, then all of a sudden we're told that that's not love. I think you need to go back to your gut, go back to your whys, understand that about you and the person that you claim that you love. And I bet you will pinpoint if you truly love this person or not, right? So if we go back to happiness, like I said, creating happiness, you can create happiness all the time. You can create happiness all day, throughout your day, building these moments to smile, building these moments to laugh. You don't have to wait for something huge to happen in your life, but don't get caught up on the facade of, I got to get to happiness, or I can't be happiness until. And don't get caught on the facade that happiness is going to be 24/7. That's not realistic. That's not life, because there's going to be moments that you'll cry. There's going to be moments to be sad. There's going to be moments that someone leaves you. Okay? There's going to be moments where, your kids do some crazy shit. It just is, right? They're their own people. So don't get caught on trying to make this 24/7 blissful utopia. That's a fantasy. Start by changing the small things. That's how you create waves in your life. You change the small things and you make it to where um in the moments of madness that you choose happiness. In the moments of madness, you choose to create. You choose to create that laughter, that smile. You choose to make someone feel better in the moment instead of making them feel worse. That's what it's about. Okay.